Welcome to Whitehern Historic House and Garden. You're visiting in 1939 and you're visiting the home of the McQuestion family. And it was the home of the McQuestion family for 116 years, from 1852 until the very last McQuestion died in 1968. And with his death, the keys went from his bedside over to City Hall, and the city of Hamilton inherited the entire collection here. Now we've chosen 1939 as our restoration date. I'm dressed as Anne Valisi, who was the cook for the family at that time. She's still alive now. She's 96 years old and still going. And she remembers her time very well here. She was here 22 years working for the family. And she was the cook for the Minister of Highways at that time, Thomas B. McQuestion. And in 1939, his big moment of fame came with the opening of the QEW. He got to meet the King and Queen, introduce them to his siblings at Niagara Falls. They had a brunch together, and they drove down the QEW to officially open it. And that royal visit in '39 was a very big deal for Canadians, and this family was no exception. So it was sort of the last hurrah of the McQuestion family. And their brother did a lot for Hamilton as well as for Ontario. Before he was Minister of Highways, he'd worked as an alderman for Hamilton. He ended up on the Parks Board for over 30 years here and did a great deal for Hamilton Park. So we have real treasures like the Royal Botanical Gardens and Gage Park with the fountain, and almost every park in Hamilton really you can attribute to Tom McQuestion. He thought every child should be able to walk to a park, so he made sure that there were beautiful places. And part of it was being outdoors and doing sports because that was something he loved. Part of it was nature because he really loved the beauty of nature. He's part of the City Beautiful movement. And you can see that even in his backyard, he hired landscape architects in the 30s to put in a summer house and make very elegant pathways that are still there, even though he still saved some of his grandfather's fruit trees. So you'll find a fruit tree, a quince tree from the 1850s, right next to those 1930s pathways through the garden. So when you come to Whitehern, you're visiting the era, but you're also hearing about all the things that we know about the family. We have thousands of letters, hundreds of photographs, receipts, locks of hair, postcards, you name it. The collection here is vast, and you can find a great deal of that in our online archive as well, or our online tour. And once you've had a look at it, I think you'll really want to visit and see it for yourself and get a feeling for the family here at Whitehern.